What is up, everybody? Due to a large hiatus back from a large hiatus from making videos for you guys, but yeah, the good part about that is I'm back and I'm gonna make another video. Whew, excuse me there, I'm gonna choke and die. I'm sure you guys see that Dark World grapher right there, and I'm sure you know exactly part of what this video is going to be about, but I'm going to start analyzing some of the... creepers on Facebook are fucking weird. Alright, so I'm going to start analyzing some of the decks that have been doing exceptionally well in the last few YCSs, and then, not only talking about those, I'm going to talk about how you guys out there can build these competitive decks without spending a fucking fortune, because I know people out there that are like, oh, I really want to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! So expensive, oh my god, I can't afford it, whatever. Alright. I'm going to go over this deck. I don't remember the guy's name who won it, sorry, or ran it. He played YCS Long Beach, it was the 100th YCS, and he won. It was like a 4,000 plus person tournament, the largest Yu-Gi-Oh! Event ever in history, counting all the YCS, Shonen Jumps, whatever. But seriously, he took the tournament by storm with this Dark World deck, and I'm going to first go over the Dark World deck briefly, and then I'm going to tell you how you can get these cards as cheap as possible, okay? I'm going to go ahead and start. Alright, he played 3 Dark World Graphas, 3 Snows, 3 Brows, 1 Beige. He played not 2 Trance Archfiends, but he played 2 Tour Guides. I put Trance Archfiends in here because, like I said, it's going to be discussing budgets and cheaper players. So I'm going to go ahead and put those there. Also, Raymond Solzer, you're borrowing my Tour Guides. Okay. And a Malefic Stardust Dragon. Alright, I'm going to discuss why he did certain things, I guess, right now. Staple. I always believe you should play one of these guys. If you're not playing one, you don't understand why it's good, because you haven't been playing in tournament situations. So, yeah, these are the Dark World monsters that I think you should always play. That's 10 Dark Worlds. You should never fall below a count of 10 in this deck. You need the discard outlets, alright? Next, he played 2 Tour Guides. Just 2 Tour Guides. He didn't play 3. He didn't play a Sangan, because Tour Guide can fetch Brow, and Tour Guide can fetch himself. When I played Dark World in Tallahassee, and I did really well there with it, I played 3 Tour Guides and a Sangan, and the whole day I thought to myself, I don't really like this Sangan, it doesn't do anything, and 3 Tour Guides seems like a lot. So he did exactly what I should have done. Dropped the Sangan and 1 Tour Guide. The only benefit the Tour Guides did for him was to make instant Zen Mines, instant Leviaires, instant Acid Golems, which are like 3k beaters, 2500 beaters with Leviathan. Leviaire is bringing back monsters from removed from game. Zen Mines is a good field presence. Anyway, enough discussion about what you guys should already know about Tour Guide. The next thing is the Malefic Stardust. What he was doing with this is, everybody knows Dark World players play the field spell, and the opponent waits until they remove the card for cost, because it's activate, remove a fiend from your graveyard for cost, you have a response, and then the opponent will MST the field spell, causing you to banish a Dark World from your graveyard, and then waste that target, and you don't get to resolve the effect. So, they'll play it, people will not MST it, and then they'll remove a Stardust and special Malefic Stardust, and then they can no longer destroy your field spell due to its continuous effect already being present. And then they will activate the field spell. So, yeah, this is what he was doing all day as a tiny little tech. It was cute, it was awesome, and it also made a 25 beater, so cool stuff there. I'll move right along to the spells. 3 Dark World gates of the Dark World, whatever, the gates of Dark World. You should play 3. He played 3 dealings, 3 drag downs. He actually played 2 Upstart Goblins and an Allure. I'm gonna go grab that. Allure of Darkness! Where the fuck are you? You're sitting right in this deck. Come here. Get the fuck over here. It was actually sitting in another budget builder that I'm gonna work on later. So, an Allure of Darkness and 2 Upstarts. I played around with it a little bit. I just never liked the Allure. So I'm just showing you guys how interchangeable things are. So, you know, whatever, max out on stuff. If you like the Allure, play it. If not, whatever. Card Destruction, Foolish, Dark Hole, Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn. Okay, I'm going to take away the staples in a Dark World deck that I think you should always be playing. I think one Dark World Dealings is a staple. You really should play it, even if Dark Worlds are a very popular deck. So, if you make a Dark World deck, this should already be in mind. Probably not Heavy Storm. I guess that's not a staple for this deck. So, these cards, without a doubt, in your head, you should already have most of your Dark World deck done. The deck list kind of writes itself. This was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. That's 21 cards. You're already half done with your deck, and you haven't even put much thought into it, just by following tournament scenes and popular statistics and very, very broken strategies. So, with that being said, those are the monsters already that we discussed. Heavy Storm. It's not normally played in Dark World decks, but the Dark World players that use it always do well. You know why? Because the people who think they know what they're doing in the matchup will set their good spells or traps early, because Dark World decks also set their good spells and traps because they want to drag down and they want you to only see their Dark World monsters, which is true. But if you get into the habit of being able to deal with this situation better than your opponent, you will use yours faster than they will, especially if you have a Heavy Storm, because if you get this Heavy Storm, you are going to nuke their whole field, and they're just going to be pissed about it because they set their hand so you can't hit their good cards. You hit their good enough cards in their hand still, and then you just Heavy Storm everything else. So, I was a fan of it when I played it. I think everybody should think about this tech and play this style. If not, play MSTs. Next, he maxed out on Dark World Dealings. Dark Worlds at his point had lost a little bit of popularity, so he could take the risk of main decking 3 Dealings, and even if he needed to turn 0, roll the dice, go first, and not know what his opponent is playing, play Dark World Dealings, and not have as much of a risk be taken to them dropping a gold or a silva on him and getting a broken-ass effect. So, yeah. So, those. Next, he played 2 upstarts and an allure. I'm deciding 3 upstarts for budget building, and even then, Allure's not that expensive. He's trying to cut his deck down to 38 cards, or 37 cards in essence, and increasing his statistics of drawing things like Heavy Storm, his Dark World monsters, the broken staples, the drag downs, the Monster Reborns, everything. He's trying to speed up that process of getting that amazing strategy, okay? So, that being said, he's trying to make this deck as fast as possible. I personally don't like the Allure due to the low monster count, and sometimes you needing to have to play the Allure to just dig. So I made myself a little easier of a version. So you guys should try that out, and maybe you can work in the Allure as well as 3 upstarts. I don't know. I'm just analyzing his build. So those are non-staple-ish cards that you should consider. I just threw the traps everywhere. Alright, we're going on. Let's see, what do we got? I just fucking disorganized myself to hell. Okay, he played 1 Solemn Judgment. I do agree with this. I don't like people playing Solemn Warnings in Dark Worlds at all. You do take hits often in Dark Worlds because you have to leave your field open to set up a good play, or maybe your drag downs or your Dark World dealing plays were to search and you never got your Graphas returned, or you never got like beiges, or maybe you don't play silvers and golds. So you're taking hits. So even though the warnings would eliminate the monster, if you draw the warnings after and you're too low in life, you can't do that. But Solemn Judgment you can always play, even if you've taken a bunch of beats and you just need to Solemn Judgment 1 target. Especially if you get to see their hand from drag down, you know exactly what to Solemn Judgment. So I'm actually thinking that this might be more of a staple than I previously did in Dark Worlds. I do agree with it. He only played 1 Torrential, even though Torrential is at 2 right now. He personally said that, and I watched a few of his videos that he got interviewed with, he personally said he just never felt like he needed it, nor could he find the room for it. So that's another thing he built his deck off of. Deck Devastation Virus and Skill Drain, I'll talk about these together, just like he did in his deck analyses. And just like when I played it in Tallahassee, it was the same thing I did. I played 2 Eradicator Epidemic Viruses, because at the time, Insectors and Windups weren't out yet. So, I was just flipping an Eradicator and calling spells. Plants were out, and I could deck dev plants, but I don't want to put all their good stuff in the graveyard and set them up. Skill Drain would have been good against plants. I could have done 1 Skill Drain, 1 Eradicator Epidemic Virus. That would have been good. But right now, I think Deck Dev is the proper main deck choice. Who knows? With the increase in Dark World players and the increase in Elemental Hero players, guys, and Skill Drain players. So, these affect the meta, or the scary decks in the meta. Rabbit, Rescue Rabbit, hits Tour Guides and Rabbits. Wind-Ups, it hits like the whole monster lineup. Inzectors, it hits almost the whole monster lineup. The only thing you have to worry about at that point are the Hornets, but that's what the Skill Drain is for. And then you side deck appropriately for these 2 bomb cards. And that's exactly what I referred to them as back when I played this deck all the time in Tallahassee. The bombs, which were the 2 viruses, and I tried to speed up the deck as much as possible by increasing Dark World dealings, even though I thought Dark Worlds would be a little heavier played than 3 people playing Dark Worlds in the regional, so that I played in. Next, he played Starlight Road. This, if you guys remember my early Dark World videos, I played this because of the Dark World dealings. The drag down to the graves. I would want to set everything, and then I wouldn't want to get heavied. Eventually, I added the Eradicator Epidemic Viruses to avoid the heavy. So if I didn't main deck the Eradicators, I would definitely main deck this. I've said it in like 3 or 4 other videos, guys. Look at my history if you don't believe me. But I think he made the correct choice, and if he's not including the Eradicators in a main deck strategy, to main deck the Starlight Road. So, amazing thoughts there. Then 2 Mind Crushes. This is staple in a Dark World deck. Guys, definitely staples. I'm going to think that 2 bomb cards are staples, even though they're variant cards, not these 2 specifically. 2 Mind Crushes, at least 1 Torrential. I said it always saves me in Dark Worlds. With the variations, the Starlight Road, if you're not main decking the Eradicators through the meta and how you think a tournament's going to go, main deck the Starlight Road. If not, side deck the Starlight Road and side deck other bombs. But I think these are staples right here. The Solemn Judgment is a player preference, as well as these Reckless Greeds. Like I said, he's trying to speed up the deck as much as possible with maxing out on all the draw cards, so I completely agree with this. These might, in my opinion, become staple for Dark Worlds eventually. As of right now, they're not. Only if you choose to play this style of Dark Worlds with maxed out draw, yeah, they're staples, as well as as many upstarts as possible in Dark World dealings. But you never know how the meta goes. So, with that deck list analysis of the winner of YCS Long Beach, the 100th YCS, hopefully you guys understand the deck a little better. Now, I'm going to go over how much all these cards cost. Grapha, Snow, Brow, Beige, the Field Spell, Dark World Dealings, and ignore my rarities, guys. Please ignore my rarities. I play expensive cards because I fucking like to. The Virus, the Mind Crushes, the Dealings. Alright. How many cards is this? I'm going to go ahead and count this. And, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. And I think it comes with an Allure in the structure deck. It also comes with Silvas and Golds. I don't really remember what else comes in it. But, this is half your deck. That's, if you go and order online 3 structure decks, that's $30. It should not cost any more than $30. And if you go through a vendor, try to Google online coupon codes for that vendor if you're going to order them online. You can usually find at least a 10% off coupon code if you're going to shop anywhere online. So that's $30, and the 10% code will save you on shipping. So $30. That's the start of your YCS winning Dark World deck. Alright? Next, Drag Down to the Graves. They do run a little expensive for commons, in my opinion. I believe that $5 for 1 is a fair price. They are printed limitedly through old sets, so who knows? Maybe you can find a playset of them on eBay for $20 with free shipping. A lot of people like to say they're $8 to $10 a piece, so $20 for a set is okay. Maybe you can find them in your old stuff. Maybe you can find a friend with them. Maybe your local card store has them for $5 a piece. When I had them in stock at TBS Comics, I had them for $5 a piece. But yeah, I think you really need these. It's some of the biggest strategy for Dark Worlds. So we're at a $30 stack, $20 for those guys. Card Destruction shouldn't cost you any more than 50 cents to $1. Foolish Burial, same. You should probably find one for 50 cents. Dark Worlds and Dark Holes and Monster Reborns. You should have them in your old cards. If you don't, vendors should have them for 50 cents to $1. Torrential might be a couple of dollars for a common or a rare. Try to look through your locals for trades for these. Just start walking up to people and saying, hey, I'm looking for a torrential tribute. Do you have any commons or rares that you can spare? Or do you know anybody with any? Be polite about that to people and they might help you out. So, let's see. Starlight Road, you can get a rare one for like $1. Skill Drain, I'm going to put over there because it's a little pricey. Trance Archfiends are like $1 to $3. Malefic Stardust, you can get that super rare promo out of the 10 cheaper. Heavy Storm, same thing. Upstart Goblins, you can find cheap ones for $1 a piece online. You really can. You just have to look. Solemn Judgment is a few bucks for a common, and Reckless Greeds are a few bucks as well. So $1 stack, even if these are $1 a piece, what was that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. That's 30, 40 bucks, $41. 40, 50, 60, 60, $70 if I average that out to $10. So this main deck is $70 at lowest rarity. Not mine, not these exact cards, but commons and commoned out versions of this exact deck. 70 bucks, guys. You can own no Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Go on to Alter Reality Games, Troll and Toads, Strike Zone, eBay, and just find all these cards, and you can build. If you really wanted a net deck and you didn't know where to start, net decking is a good way to start to learn the game and learn where everybody is at right now. And then after I think you could maybe price bargain and search for these cards. You might be able to get all of this for 50 bucks. I'm all about the business and the deal, so maybe 50 bucks to 70 bucks. I'm going to go ahead and call it 60 to 80, just to move that gap up $10 to, you know, hide myself a little bit. Next, I'm going to talk about other options for the deck and things to not forget. If you're going to play Starlight Roads, you've got to get Stardust Dragons. Unfortunately, even a common or a rare Stardust Dragon is like, I think, 8 bucks online. So try to talk to people. People are usually really stingy with synchros and things like that. Maybe go to your vendor and talk to them and say, hey, I'm just starting out. Could you lower the price of that rare Stardust Dragon, like even to 7 bucks or 6 bucks? I would love it, and I might be. And you can even get them with, if you're going to buy a lot of cards from them, be like, I am buying a lot of cards. Could we talk about a little bit lower of a price? You know, I would appreciate it a lot. So Stardust Dragons. I have 2 in this deck because I have 1 Malefic Stardust and 1 Starlight Road. I think he had 3 in his, so whatever. 2 is the bare minimum, and you're fine. And then don't forget random other XYZ, Synchros. Dark Worlds really don't depend on their extra deck. Unless you're going to main deck a Raven, Effect Veilers, I don't even know what else. Any other tuners, whatever. Like, unless you're going to main deck tuners, you shouldn't worry about Synchros as much. Just worry about the XYZs, because you play a Monster Born and you play 4 stars, you play 3 stars. We don't have the 8-star guy yet for blank XYZ. 4 stars and 3 stars, guys, and a Monster Born. Just try to go to a store and buy a Shonen Jump magazine and get an Acid Golem out of it, or find a friend who's got a bunch of them because they steal them and open up the magazine in the store and just take the free card inside. So Acid Golem's a good one, especially if you're going to play Skill Drain. It's just a 3k. You know, how beefy is that? Either that or Leviathan Dragon is relatively cheap. You can probably find a 10 version for like 8 bucks, maybe even cheaper. If you're not going to play tour guides, like I said, you shouldn't worry about Zen Mines, but if you are going to play tour guides instead of the Trance Archfiends, dude, you guys, don't invest in tour guides unless you're going to invest in a Zen Mines. That's one of the reasons tour guide is amazing, as well as Leviair, so Zen Mines and Leviair, and all the instant rank 3s you can make. Make sure you guys have a Utopia and a Utopia Ray. Stuff's very, very good there, especially if somebody makes a Utopia against you and you blow it up. You can Monster Born the Utopia and overlay the Utopia Ray. That's really, really cool. You know, even though the Utopia doesn't have any effects, that can avoid the Utopia just being a bad attacker. Or if you make a Utopia and you need to Monster Born it later, same thing. The Utopia Ray overlay stops them from just going, oh, summon an Effect Veiler, swing at your Utopia. Oh, it's destroyed because it was targeted as an attack target. A replay occurs, my effect veiler may now attack you directly, whatever. So, at the point that a 0 attacker can stop a Utopia with no materials, that's bad. So you turn a Utopia into a good attacker. And a Utopia raise shouldn't be more than $8 bucks either. So extra deck's really going to be where your money goes. So your main deck starting out, like I said, 60 to 80 bucks. 70's the good middle. An extra deck, you should just worry about spending like $20 on an extra deck. And then a side deck. Side decks are like super, like, dude, you guys out there that are like, oh, I don't have max C's to side deck, I can't play tournaments. That's ridiculous. Alright? Light Imprisoning Mirrors. That's a good side deck card, guys. If you have Light Sworns in your area, if you have Chaos Dragons in your area, that's a good side deck card. Eradicator Epidemic Virus, I said it comes in the Dark World Structure deck. If you can get a second Torrential or main deck it, whatever. Same with Mirror Force. If you do happen to have a Dark Smog or want to invest the 20 some odd dollars to get one, it's a good main deck or side deck card. Don't overdo it on this card, guys. It is very good, but at the same time it's very iffy. You can up your Trance Archfiend count, don't ever forget it, but if you do, up your Dark World monster count. Never forget about Silvas and Gold and playing more Beiges. You can definitely do that. I'm a fan of playing 2 Beiges, but you never know, guys. Maybe you think it's more successful to play a few of these guys. But just remember, if you draw them without a discard outlet, you cannot normal summon them. You have to tribute for them. So that is essentially, in my head, a dead card. So this guy, I can summon him and attack. Or I can set him and defend. That is not that bad. Even though he doesn't get an effect, guess what? These guys normally don't get effects either. They're pretty much the same thing as this. It's just you have to risk being able to summon or set him. So it's just average tournament play. Book of Moon, don't forget about that card. It's an amazing card. MSTs, like I said, if you're not going to main deck the Heavy Storm and learn that playstyle, play some MSTs and just start blowing shit up, you know? Fuck it, you know? Compulsory Evacuation Device is always going to be a good side deck card. Guess what it stopped? Synchros and XYZs. If they try to make a Synchro or an XYZ become one solid beater, that definitely took 2 cards to make. You can just compulse it. That compulse just took away 2 of their cards essentially, even though the 2 cards were overlaid or combined into one monster. You technically took 2 cards. So mathematically, compulsory is a good card. So also don't forget about Allure. Allure was in the extra or in those decks. So just from those, the $30 from the structure decks, you get like 22 of your main deck cards and a few of your side deck cards. And then if you want to, a good idea is to side deck 2 Silvas or 1 Silva and a Gold in the Ditto. Either that or maybe in your area if Dark Worlds are super popular, try main decking Silvas and Golds, because if they go first and they're not an intelligent player and they don't know what you're playing and they Dark World dealings, then you're just going to fuck them up and you should win right there. So even though you haven't even gotten to play, mathematically you should win the game. So, this is my analysis of Dark Worlds as a whole, right now in the meta, and the current, April 17th, 2012, analysis of Dark Worlds, of how they're lining up in the meta currently. So guys, hopefully this helped you out. Hopefully my opinions aren't hackneyed or stilted in any way. And hopefully this video wasn't too long for you guys. I know I'm famous for having long educational videos. But hopefully they're cram-packed full of so much information. You guys get some good ideas and stuff like that. So yeah, and hopefully you guys didn't see me sitting there in my boxers because I'm doing this video in my boxers. So yeah, thank you guys for bearing with me for the hiatus I took from YouTube. I've been working a lot, excuses, just like everybody else. Doing a lot of life, having a lot of fun living with Brittany Long. She's an amazing girl. She's sitting right there on my laptop right now, going through my Facebook or something. I don't even know what she's doing. Oh, she's going through her Facebook. I don't even know. She's being adorable. But, another thing to look forward to, guys. If you guys like Card Fight Vanguard, I'm going to be doing analyses of the game. I might do a how-to video of how to play the game, basic strategy about the game. And I will probably do that. I'll probably do basic strategy about the game. She's now poking my leg. And I'll do some deck profiles for the game. That's her finger. Brittany Long, stop that. But yeah, guys, once again, thanks for being fans. Thanks for watching my videos. And I'm going to get out of here. I love all of you. You're awesome. Bye.